This is Jodie G from jodiesjourney.com and consumerconsultation.com. Thank you very much for joining me on my vlog. Today I'm going to give you an introductory little talk about what has been going on in my world and why you should continue listening to my vlog and what I've got to say. You can see all of my blogs on jodiesjourney.com, and that's located at the Jodie's blog latest page. You can also read a snippet of my story on a book, or in a book, called Inspiring Stories of Hope. There's 11 amazing Australian women in that book who have all been through difficult circumstances. Mine is in chapter 4. You can get that through Amazon and a number of different bookstores. And, you know, I'm just here telling my story the way it is. It's basically about going through 2 lots of lymphoma, through a mobility disability. That includes a medical negligence case, and also now another disease caused by the original radiation and chemotherapy called myelodysplasia, which requires a very aggressive stem cell transplant. That transplant will be taking place very soon. Therefore, the reason why I've started these vlogs as a way of communicating and also a way of encouraging and inspiring people who go through my blog and also listen to my vlogs, you know, wondering, how do I get through these things? How do I deal with all of this difficulty? How have I gotten through and not lost my mind or lost the plot? You know, these things do take it out of you, and mentally and emotionally do whack you a bit about, and there's not much you can do about it, but you just use the resources that you have, and that includes people like psychologists and psychiatrists who all have fantastic abilities and amazing talents to get us back to where we should be healthily or mentally. And you know, I have used many of these professionals in the past, so I encourage you that if you're going through a difficult time, access a mental health specialist. You'll find yourself dealing with a lot less pain that way, and you'll be able to talk to these people one-on-one. So I'll just tell you a little bit, very, very briefly, what's happened to me. You can read it all on my website. You know, in 2005 I felt a lot of pain in my body. Subsequently, for 11 months I sought help through 7 different doctors, 21 different doctors' visits, and I had a very difficult time finding anyone who would help me. I went to specialists via my principal GP, and when a letter came back to him, he really wasn't concerned, said I was okay, go on your way, don't worry about it. And progressively over time I just got worse, and I had symptoms of night sweats, I had pain down my right leg, I had bone pain, I had itchiness, I had thrush I couldn't get rid of. I mean, it just went on and on. My whole right side was just breaking down, and you know, I said to my husband once, I said, I just can't deal with this anymore, we need to go to the ER. And then that was the turning point. We went to the ER, and I was able to get a senior doctor to listen to me. Finally, when this senior doctor came out from a CAT scan, his whole face was white as a ghost, and they admitted me immediately. We found what later they told me was cancer all through my right hand torso, eating into nerves, eating into all sorts of bones and muscles, and it was just an awful scenario. But I did survive that. I went through a lot of chemo, radiation and emergency radiotherapy to save my right leg, and got on my way, went back to work after a time of recovery. Worked again for 8 months. At the time I was working with an aerospace company with some of the brightest and most wonderful people, doctors, professors, NASA people, smart, incredible people. It was my dream job. I loved it, and I was a mum with 2 kids, and just really getting on with life and enjoying life in Australia. And my husband was from San Francisco, so we came back from the US, and we were just sort of enjoying our first home and everything else. So everything was Yankee-danky and awesome. And it was in 2008 that I relapsed in the S1 nerve, which was one of the main hot areas of cancer, and realised that the disease had come back in the sheath that wrapped itself around the nerve, which was not a great thing. So we had to go through more systemic chemotherapy, and after many, many tries at chemo into the spine, it just wasn't working for a durable amount of time, and we had to just get on with it and do systemic chemotherapy. We tried that and got rid of it for a while. It was great. We had some problems with my right leg in 2010, just started to get weaker, and we got a diagnosis of scarring of the S1 from radiotherapy and chemotherapy probably, and loss of mobility due to that. Previous to that, after the first time I had gone through the chemotherapy and radiotherapy, and I knew I had a delayed diagnosis, we did take my principal GP to my state medical board, and we were able to successfully push that case through, and it was perceived in my favour that the doctor who had been not looking after me was eventually disciplined, and that was basically so that other people didn't go through what I had to go through, and that was the reason why I did that. And that was kind of a finalisation for me in that regard. And it wasn't, everything was kind of going okay. I still had some issues in January this year where my leg was starting to get weaker. And it's now September 2014, and the weakness just wasn't going away. It was actually getting a bit worse, and we were really sort of getting on top of that, trying to get through that, find some new inspiration about treatments. And then in June this year, I found more pain. I was having pain in my ribs, like bone pain. I was having some fatigue, and I went to the doctor, and the very day that I went to the doctor and my hematologist and told her, look, I'm having some weird things going on here, she said to me, look, your bloods have all gone down, let's do a bone marrow aspirate actually. And that was kind of scary, because we thought, well, maybe it's back, and if it's back, we'll need a transplant. So eventually we did the bone marrow. Tests came back as positive for another one called myelodysplasia. It's another blood cancer. The subtype is RCMD, and it's basically caused by the chemotherapy and the radiation I had for the original cancer. We knew that was a possibility, but when it hits you, and there's not much you can do about it, but just trust your doctors and get on with it. So now what we've been doing is searching the world for an unrelated donor for me, someone who will be able to save my life, and we will go through high dose chemotherapy, possible full body radiation, and then we will start on a regimen of inserting the stem cells into my body, which will then create new bone marrow. Could have quite a few side effects, but it might, and we're really expecting out of positivity that it will save my life, that I will go on, that I will have a cure from both diseases. So that's what I'm all about. I'm about being a positive person. I'm about being a woman of faith, a woman of just trusting God, of knowing and believing that anything can happen if we want it to happen, believing that, whatever we go through can be used for good. So, I see that even though some things are very difficult and they're very hard to get through, there are always good things that can come out of it. So I want to inspire you, whatever you're going through and whatever you're finding difficult, keep going. Don't give up. Don't give up. I've had, 70 plus doses of chemotherapy already and radiation. I'm still here. I look okay. I'm doing okay. I have very long hair at the moment. Look at all my long hair. Look at it all. And I'm about to lose it again. Oh well. I have wigs. I'm going to give this hair, cut it off and give it to Pantene Great Lengths, and see if we can give a wig to use it for another woman that might have cancer who can't afford a wig. So we do what we can with what we got. We do the best that we can. We get through what we can. We, use everything that that comes on your plate is something you can inspire other people to do, and envelop them with your love and care. And that's what I do with everyone who comes across me. I try to envelop them with positivity, with faith, with love, with hope, with care, and that's what it's all about. That's what life's all about, you know, just helping people as you go along. That's always been something that I've wanted to do. When I was a little girl, I wanted to be a missionary. Now I'm just doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm just using my story to inspire and help as many people as possible. And so some days when you see my vlog, I may not look so great. It might be from a hospital bed, it might be from the hallway, it might be from a rec room in the hospital, it might be at home. I'll do my best to bring you the news. And I want to thank you guys for listening to my very first Stem Cell Star Ledger vlog today. I'll have more coming, so make sure you listen out, and thank you guys for watching. It's great to have you here. Please contact me if you like. Remember, my story is all at jodiesjourney.com and consumerconsultation.com. Don't forget to tell your friends. It's lovely to see you guys. Thank you so much.